Hello friends, welcome. I'm Commissar Marek, and today we are going to be making a video about the Reconquered campaign and its new release. Along with it, we will have to cover the new Augustus, changes in the unstable build. Keep in mind that this new Reconquered campaign version is only playable with the Augustus unstable build, and if you need to help set that up, it's not difficult at all. You will go to Carrier Augustus GitHub site. There you will scroll down on the main release page. You will find the system you want to use. For me it's Windows. And then instead of downloading Augustus 4.0, you click on the button there to download the unstable branch. And you also want to click on the button next to it, which is download developer assets. That is graphics, new walkers, things like that. And so after you get both of those files, you just find your CZ3 folder, which is where your Augustus exe is located. And for me, it looks like this. And then you take both of those files and you extract them into it and overwrite everything. It will, from now on, work as intended. It should work without issues. There is a little bit of a difference with if your CZ3, the game is from GOG or if it's from Steam. I'm using Steam. For me, this exact step works. For GOG, I don't have that, so I don't actually know. I know that there is a way to do it a little bit differently. If you need help with that, I'm sure people on Zach's Discord or my Discord will help you with it. So feel free to let me know if you have any problems. And so this is just Augustus, right? You need Augustus unstable to play this. But you also need the Reconquered campaign. If you click in the description to show the description of this video, there will be a link to the CZ3 Haven where there is a new upload for Reconquered campaign, because Bianca suggested we split it. It's a bit unfortunate because we had 4,000 downloads, we had a lot of reviews and comments on the old version, but in order to preserve compatibility for 4.0, we need to split it up. So now this is a new file. It's under new, basically upload on Haven, and so you can find it in the link in the description. You download that and you just extract the whole thing into your CZ3 folder where the Augustus exe is, and from that point on, you can just boot up the game. You will be in the main menu as I am right now. From there, you will click Start a New Campaign, and you will be able to see Reconquered campaign in here, and so you can begin the campaign. And there is also scenario selection, so when you play through the campaign, you beat a mission, you can replay it from here. Some key changes to the Reconquered campaign. Why is this important? One, it features this custom campaign system, but not only that, there are many changes. It's basically we improved virtually all aspects of it except one. The AI voices of the original people working on the game, I decided to not use that anymore because I don't want to get into any copyright issues. There weren't any copyright issues, just to be clear. No one voiced any concerns. This is a fan-made project. The Reconquered campaign is. It makes no money. Therefore, there are no real commercial concerns. However, it still didn't feel right to use those voices without consent, and I can't get the consent. It's gonna be extremely hard to track those people down, etc. You get the drift. So instead, I purchased a license from software from company Voxco, I'm gonna put it on the screen, the name of the software. And there's voice of Benedict Cumberbatch who owns the voice, and we use that instead for the instructions. It is not as good. Some people, well, I had one person come up with a concern that it sounds more American. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, that software did not have like a British medieval voice. I just can't get that. It is a lot of work because there is a lot of talk and a lot of instructions to narrate, and so it's like 150,000 characters, something like that, and so that's just not really possible. If in the future I find a better way, we might have something like that, but there's no budget, there is no voice acting, like it's me making this. I don't have any budget for this, okay? So unfortunately the AI voice is a little bit more generic now, and I do not like that, but we had to make sacrifices, right? But in return, what do you get? Restructured messages formatting. Every single message has been redone so that it's better for clarity, clearly lined out instruction, and objective bookmarks, so you can immediately see in a message where you need to go. If you like replay a map, so you don't have to read everything, you just quickly see the highlighted stuff and just proceed. Other things, expanded events. They've been extensively reworked so that some events that didn't feel right, we still had a couple that kind of didn't actually hit the note that I wanted them to do. So instead I redesigned what didn't feel right and made it more fitting for that specific map. I'm not gonna give you many examples, I want you to play through it yourself. If you've played the previous version of the Reconquered campaign, you will be able to notice a lot of changes, hopefully for the better. Especially the first 2 missions are redesigned completely, because I want to release a tutorial campaign which is gonna focus entirely on new people and how to play Season 3 and Augustus especially. But for the Reconquered campaign, it's just proper campaign. It's for veterans, so people who already know the game. But there still are explanations for monuments and such for people who might be coming into Augustus. Anyway, other things. Yeah, so we expanded historical footnote sections as well. It's completely skippable. If someone's not interested in the history, you can always skip it, and it's always at the bottom, and you don't need to read it if you don't want to. For those people who care, there's now a lot more history. As much as I know as a person, I know more than most. I have a keen and deep interest in history, and especially the ancient and Roman one. And so as much as I could fit in a good, like, readable format that doesn't intrude too much on the game, I try to fit as much as possible. So even if someone comes into it not knowing much about the Roman society or politics or military, they'll come out of the Reconquered campaign if they want to read all these things as knowledgeable as I am. Right, and so it's not comprehensive by any means, it never is. Because, just let's be real, the excavations that are going on in Pompeii, for example, and in other places, we constantly find new things, or the scientists find new things. And so it is unlikely that anything I can tell you today will hold through after 10 years, sort of like when C3 was made originally. And so things that they could have told us 20 years ago just doesn't hold up for practical reasons, because we constantly find new things. Right. So it is still 20 missions as before. No missions were completely changed in name or anything, but there are terrain changes, so that especially early on, I realized I couldn't expect perfection. It never did really, but even so, I scaled down the expectations a little bit from the people who are coming into Augustus or Reconquered campaign in general, from like the sandbox open maps where they can just build whatever they want. Suddenly they can't, and that's a big step for them. So for veterans, you will be able to tell that stuff like missions like Capua or Tarentum will be a bit easier. But that's for a good reason. It is to facilitate people's transfer to these custom maps, and the goal of the whole Reconquered campaign is for you to be able to play custom maps without any issues after you are done with it. So it's supposed to prepare you for that. Alright, but it needs to start relatively simpler, but it's not like tremendously dumbed down at all. It still is essentially very similar to how it was before, but couple things to encourage variety, less restrictiveness around docks, things like that, because people struggle with docks a lot. I've received some disaster saves. You might have seen the Spaghetti Miletus for one. So Miletus was one of the missions that was pretty hard for a lot of people. They kind of hit the brick wall there. So that one was also made a little bit easier, but also events are redesigned. It is now possible to save custom personal savings throughout the campaign, but you can only keep 2,000 up to 2,000 denarii to next mission. And gifts are scaled up. So if you want to send a gift, if you remember, lavish gift to Caesar for 10 favor would cost you 200 denarii. Now it costs 2,000, but your salary income is also amplified by 10. So instead of being paid 2 denarii at a given rank, I think that's clerk, now you get 20. Makes sense? So why is this? One, it makes the personal salary actually impactful, and it can sap away your money from the city, which previously it was not a concern really. And second of all, it is also to facilitate the Colosseum games. Now they are kind of viable. If you save up enough money to host them, they are not affected by the scaling. And so you can host Colosseum games for favor or other things. And so that's one of the reasons we did this. Any other major changes? I can't think of anything at the moment. There's a lot that changed, as I said, with the structure and events and sizes of invasions, new requests, new empire maps, new cities on the empire maps. Quota has been completely changed as well, but not in like I didn't stray from the idea. Still no labor sponging, of course, but in general, it is more laid out in progression so that I can predict what's gonna happen all the time. New events that now use the new triggers, because Augustus team has been working on triggers for me to use in the editor, or us, the map makers, to use in the editor. Now we can have much more control over certain things. Of course, you can also do mean things and like you can misuse some of the tools, but I tried not to do that. We had testers, it is tested, so you should not have any tremendous difficulty playing through the new Reconquered campaign. Let me know what your experience is. If you want, you can join the Discord. I hope that everything's clear. If you need help setting anything up, you can let me know and I'll try my best to help you. So now that we've covered the Reconquered campaign, let me just quickly touch upon something else. This is not an easy thing for me to say or deal with, but I think I probably owe you the explanation here. You might have noticed that there weren't that many uploads on the archives or the main channel here recently. The reason behind it is I'm going to go back to my old job, and some of you might know what I was doing before. I'm not going to go into details here, but suffice to say, it is possible that I will not be able to make content anymore, because the job that I will do is mutually exclusive with being public figure, whatever you want to call it. So I might not be able to continue doing it, but it's unfortunate. The reality of the situation needed to be dealt with. I can't keep it up. I tried, I failed. It's not your fault or anything. I don't want to make you feel sorry for it or anything. It's just the nature of the world. We need to accept how it is. I would have loved to continue doing this or improve in it, because I still have a lot to learn in editing and other things, but yeah, it just didn't work out. And I think I can only blame myself for a lot of the naivety, but I couldn't have known better really, because a lot of these things you just have to experience yourself. If you want explanation, today's environment on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, is so not hostile but competitive that you need to have much higher skill in it to do anything. If you remember, some people started out just playing games and it was going all right. Today you have to put in so much effort, and I'm not complaining about that. I love doing it, I love editing, but it is, I never received a single cent from YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So all of this was free, and all the tutorials and everything, I enjoyed that because it helped people get better at the game. That's great, but I wanted to do it for real. You know, yeah, that just didn't really work out. So I will probably let you know about how this is gonna go, because I will ask for an exception to be able to continue making content, but it's possible they will just say no, and at that point I can't do anything about it. I need money, I need the job, and it's I also wanted to do something else instead of the job I did before. Problem with that is that maybe I'm not as good at other things. I just need to focus on what I can do, and I can do the past job really well, so I should focus on that instead of trying to come up with something completely new that just doesn't work. So in any case, thanks for watching and see you around. Bye.